scholars, another day and another fuck up because
God damn, I recorded a whole entire video and it was useless because of audio.
I have more audio issues than I have in any other parts of my life. Like, audio, for some reason, just continues. Even headset. I literally spent $100 on this bastard. These Logitech wireless, and it has an aux port. And I've literally hooked up aux. I know third world problems or first world problems, whatever. Aux into everything, and it won't work. I don't understand how it advertises has a fucking slot for aux, and these Logitech Pro X's are fucking useless. I should have just bought the corded ones and called it a fucking day. Anyways, multiple issues, and Destiny is one of them, because my favorite franchise is fucking dying. And it's not like just me saying it's dying. It's actually, the meme has become a reality. We are going to eventually see Destiny in a grave, if not soon. And I love comments like this, especially when you react to videos like the Doom Apocalypse. Man, people get so mad for their billion-dollar company. Shit like this makes me laugh because it reminds me of 2000 Call of Duty, like in early 2000s. This reminds me of it. By the way, they want to say the F word, not the maggots, but they would get removed by YouTube. Man, you're upsetting people when they cry like this. Continue to project. I'm sure your mom will love you, and that's the only people that will love you. But we're gonna react to Destiny. We all loved Destiny at one point in our lives, and unfortunately, Bungie wants to take it out back and shoot it like Old Yeller.
It is currently February 2026. Here I am standing before what's left of the Destiny community. Now I know I might be coming off a bit dramatic right now, but it ain't looking too hot, fellas. I'm just saying, man. If you go look at any of the numbers online.
See, people get upset and say you're just Doom posting. It's only Doom if it's true, right? Like, if it's just like people say a lot of shit about shit all over the world, and people continue to live on. People say Chipotle sucks dick. But guess what? People still eat Chipotle. Chipotle's not closed down because Chipotle still exists regardless of who hates it or who doesn't. But when there's real doom on the horizon, it makes it true. By the way, I know people they absolutely hate Steam charts. I don't know. This is a trend started by YouTubers like Scaro, where they like, oh God, you can't use Steam charts. It's not fair. Here we go. So here's Curse of Osiris. Like at its low was like what, 39? It was pretty low. And then here's the low right now. Obviously this is not true, but this one's more true. 2,200. Like that's bad. That's awful. But yeah, I don't understand people who like Scaro and other YouTubers who straight up try to say this doesn't show a trend. It shows a trend. You can use Steam charts for the trend. Even though this gives us consoles too, it gives us the bigger picture. This number low, guess what? Also console, also low. Oh, who would have thought? Who would have thought, Jim?
We can rationalize about it all day long, but I think we all have to come to the conclusion that Destiny is not thriving anymore. It's barely hanging on. And the reality is
I know I'm pausing a lot. Destiny is the only time you could maybe say Destiny ever thrived was Forsaken. That's when it was doing really well for the community. It wasn't thriving financially per Activision, but it was absolutely thriving for the community. Destiny has been on life support since they left Activision. And it has not thrived. It's just survived. Bungie and Destiny in general has not been thriving, period.
that Destiny doesn't have the luxury that it had a decade ago. Other games are all around us, and they're good games. Yeah. Even games that are directly competing with Destiny. Warframe, for instance, is continuing to pop off. Hell, Destiny Rising, which is a mobile version of Destiny, even that has taken a slice out of the Destiny community. And for good reason. That game has so many great features, especially social features that we've been begging for since 2014. The reality is that right now, Bungie's biggest focus is Marathon. And I get it. Marathon has had too much invested in it to not be the focus. But the real reason why I'm making this video is because at the end of the day, whether Marathon succeeds or fizzles out, all roads, in my opinion, for Bungie leads to Destiny 3. Now, nothing
I know there's opinions that have come out. If Marathon succeeds, that's going to be Bungie's focus. And I actually do believe it will be. And why is because we've seen Bungie, even though this is a new version of Bungie, for since Halo, like the Halo devs have already come and gone. It's a pattern with this of Bungie as a company where they get tired of working on the same franchise and they want to move on. And that's what they did with Halo. They didn't want to make Halo anymore, so they moved to Destiny. Guess what? They don't want to make Destiny. Now they're back to Marathon.
has been confirmed whether or not a D3 is actually going to be a thing. There's been rumors passed around here and there, but if you ask me, do I believe a D3 is being worked on right now? My only reply is, who the hell is working on it? No, really, guys. I often get people in the streams, it's like, yo, don't worry, Cross, right around the corner, D3.
Game of the year. Bro, that's some straight, that's not coke. You're taking fentanyl, crack cocaine, you're taking, you know, bath salts, you're taking it all together if you think that this coming out in 2026. And it just here's the deal. I'm going to say this right now before we get deep in this video. Do I think we need Destiny 3? Absolutely. I think Destiny 2 is cooked. I think we're done. People are over it. There's multiple reasons why, but Destiny 3 is an absolute must. That's one thing. Do I think that Bungie can do justice to Destiny 3? No. No, absolutely not. Now, we know for a fact that other studios are capable of doing Destiny. And so if Sony has other, studios help make Destiny 3, I have a little more faith. I have just a little bit more faith. I mean, Destiny Rising Tencent showed that we don't need Bungie. That Tencent, other studios can keep Destiny alive without actually having Bungie around. That's the reality. And so, if they want to shut down Bungie and make a new studio that can take, I was just saying, like Destiny 3. And that's my thoughts, right? Two things can be real. Destiny 3 needs to happen. And then Destiny 3 can't be done by Bungie. Those are two realities that can be true. I don't think that Bungie can do a Destiny 3 service or correctly at all. But that's why you can give it to a different studio. You don't need Bungie for the IP to exist, and we have actual proof in the pudding.
Is something going to drop on us? You still have people out there that believe Marathon is actually Destiny 3. I'm not joking, fellas. There are people that believe that at any moment, Bungie is going to say, surprise, we're not making Marathon. We just debated you. And
No. You're right. They're wrong. Because Marathon is just a Destiny 2 expansion. I mean, if you go into the Destiny 2 expansion catalog where you buy the expansions for Destiny 2, Marathon right there. Who would have thought?
It was D3 all along. Fellas, there is no one making D3 because there is no one to make a D3. You can't make a D3 when half your studio is working on Marathon and the rest are doing everything they can just to keep Destiny 2 alive.
that bitch slap was a little...
Which takes us to the point of this video, and something that I need my Destiny community to accept. And what I'm about to say, I know some of you are going to have a very tough time digesting this. Destiny 3 cannot and will not ever exist while Destiny 2 is still breathing. I know right now some of you are closing the YouTube.
If what he's trying to say is that Destiny 2, as long as they're continuing to keep it alive, like giving it content, that Destiny 3 won't exist, then I would agree. If he's saying that we need to shut down Destiny 2, I don't agree. And why I would agree on the first point is because if they're putting all the resources into Destiny 2, they can't put the resources toward Destiny 3. And that's just common sense.
App at this very moment. Some of you are throwing away your Mara cups and unsubscribing right now. But listen to me, Destiny community. Imagine this. Imagine Destiny 2 is in critical care, still breathing, still functioning, but at any moment now, D2 could pass away. Now, some of you would rather keep Destiny 2 on life support for as long as you can. Maybe it's your items in game, maybe it's the memories, maybe it's the raids that are still present there. Listen, I get it. But at some point...
But the thing is, as long as they keep the service up, like they do Destiny 1, all that stuff remains. I don't know, like, what is this weird fallacy that people come up that they think that moving into Destiny 3, they'll lose all their gear? It's still there. You could still enjoy it. You could still play. Like, Destiny, like, if you make everything obsolete by making a Destiny 3, then everything in Destiny 2 is actually retains all its value. Like, old raids become valuable again because you're not going to get new loot anyways. So you just play for just the moment. Like, you know what? I kind of want to go back and a month later to try if I want to fight shit, I'm just going to say Ruined Nightmares. No, who wants to go back to, but I want to experience Ruined Nightmares to see if it was really that bad. I go back to Ruined Nightmares. It's there. I can play with whatever I want for the fun of it. And that's that, right? It's still there. You can still go play Wrath of the Machine. Sure, it's not up to date like we would want, but you could still play it. Destiny 3, like, there's pros and cons, but ultimately saying that you're going to lose your stuff is just not true.
Bungie's gonna have to go in there with a pillow and take care of this thing. We have reached a point where Destiny itself has outgrown the infrastructure that it sits on. Not just from a technical perspective, although that is a big limiting factor to Destiny, but just creatively. Destiny has got to evolve. And as much as I enjoyed Renegades and the Renegade abilities, that's not the evolution.
Those aren't abilities, my friend. Those are mechanics
that we need. It's not Kevlar abilities and turning into balls.
These are just
dare I say,
mechanics.
It's not even a red subclass. I'm not saying that a red subclass or a kinetic subclass or whatever the rumor is going to be wouldn't bring some level of excitement back.
I figured this is what he was going to show was Prismatic should have been, it needs to be the last new subclass for Destiny 2. And here's why. Adding more systems will break the fucking game. And I think adding a new aspect to Prismatic or other would be fine because it's easier for them to focus on. We are very strong. We're very powerful. It is fun, but it's also stupid. But at the same, it's still fun, right? It's still enjoyable. You could still play guns if you're playing by yourself. You can choose. If you're playing with a group of people, they probably will expect you to use the most meta stuff, unfortunately. That's the problem. But overall, I don't think you should save the new bread and butter for a new game, in my opinion. Like, that's just my thoughts, right? And I think Bungie has felt the same way, which is why they've tried to use these score streaks, these mechanics, and gas them up as abilities, even though you can't take them anywhere fucking else besides the one singular activity that they're attached to. Hell, even the dark matter ball you can't even use in the new raid that came with the expansion. Like, okay, make it make sense. But overall, he's right. The infrastructure is so awful. We went from the crafting, which was this crazy, like, one-off situation that, like, it was game breaking, like something that wasn't normal, to fast forward it to episode Heresy, where you have the Court of Blades completely locking out, where you can't even finish it because bosses weren't spawning. Like, you would, no matter where you were, if you got that boss, you just could never complete it. You didn't get the loot. It was just, you're infinitely stuck there. It's awful. Fast forward even to recently. Now they can't even do small updates for these events where you get a currency called telemetry that doesn't even work. Like, it just, you can't even turn it in. You can't buy stuff. Like, small little updates completely breaking things. Bungie can no longer support Destiny 2 in a way that is financially feasible for them, but also not good for the players. Like, the amount of content that just consistently breaks, which is why they've pushed away 80% of the game, is because if something breaks there, it's not a priority because they know most people are focused on the stuff that matters at the current time, which is the portal shit. Most of the stuff that is not relevant anymore, they're like, okay, we can take our time working on it, even though it's still paid content. But yeah, I mean, Destiny 2 is cooked. It's time to move on.
But is it truly going to bring Destiny back to its glory days? Dude, I'm willing to bet my vaults that we're never going to reach the highs of Lightfall, Final Shape, Forsaken, Witch Queen ever inside of Destiny 2. And that's because Destiny 2 concluded. The Final Shape was it. And so
I would agree with this statement.
So many people I have talked to, man, whether it's been in streams, hell, I was playing High Guard and randomly matched someone who was telling me that he used to play Destiny 2. And I asked him, when did you stop playing? And he said, Final Shape. So many people stopped after the Final Shape.
I want to add to something. Not only do people like talk about it, but I've had where I played other games and somehow Destiny got brought up, and it's always, you play that dead game. I can't believe you actually play that game. Like, people, like, I want you to realize that if you go outside of the Destiny community, most people look down on the Destiny community or the Bungie community. They think it's a joke. They think that most people, there's something wrong with you, especially after they took paid content away. Like, most of the wider gaming audience dismissed Destiny. Like, okay, that is shit. How could you continue to play a game where they remove paid content like that? Like, literally, Destiny has become like the butt of many jokes. You got to realize that if you play Destiny, you are not respected by the wider game audience, which is fine. That's why we have, niche communities, because I'm sure there's people that don't respect Warframe, even though there's nothing wrong with it and digital streams. But you've got to realize that Destiny has a bad reputation along with Bungie. And people, like, once you continue to hemorrhage players and interest, those people join this larger group that is against you in your game. Like, he's talking to someone that quit on the Final Shape. I've heard that constantly. Now you're going to have these people that are all going to add to the wider range of people that think that Destiny's a joke, along with Bungie. And it's going to hurt the bottom dollar, because less people investing in the game means less money, which means less going back into the game.
Shape. Why? Because for the love of God, it was called the Final Shape. Would you say, hey, this is the ending to the Light and Darkness saga, and you have the main antagonist taken out? Well, hot damn it, fellas. You don't have to be clairvoyant to know that anything past that point is probably going to be filler. And that's kind of what we're living in. Do I enjoy the lore of the Nine? Sure. I like Lodi. I'm getting down with Eris and Drifter and learning about the Nine and getting a lightsaber. But let's be real. Most, if not all, Destiny players are really paying attention to the next big bad that we know we eventually have to deal with. And that is the Winnower. The one who's...
So here's the problem. And this is the problem with the lore in general, the narrative in general, is that isn't the Winnower just basically they made the Winnower and the Traveler just a retcon? Like, retconned it, being like the Nine is really in control and deciding the fates and reality as it is, because they're gods. And so it's like, which is it? Is it the Winnower the big bad, or is it the fucking fate? Because like, it's just really fucking annoying that even the Witness, who is this big bad, was actually just part of the whole the fates design. And it's just like, God, I hate retconning bullshit like that. In order to make a new big baddie, we had to retcon the old one. It's like, God damn, dude. And it's not really explained well.
Been controlling things, not even intentionally, but controlling things behind the scenes this entire time. We will eventually reach a point where the flower game will unfold right in front of us. I see a day where we come face to face with the Gardener, with the Winnower, and we see the universe for what it is, at least in the world of Destiny. But my question to you is, would you rather experience that next chapter in the domain of Destiny 2 or inside of a Destiny 3?
Why Destiny 3?
Now, you may be asking, what is it about a Destiny 3 that can bring to the table that Destiny 2 couldn't? I think optic-wise, everything. Destiny 3 is a new starting point. Destiny 3 is potential, new beginnings, a reason for old players to come back. From a technical standpoint, it could actually be the thing that Destiny needs to expand. We've known for quite some time now that Destiny has been struggling from memory limitations on our weapons, vault constraints. Guys, at one time, Bungie used to give us full-blown patrol spaces where you would bump up against other players all the time. However, the trend...
They have rolled back this so much that we no longer have new destinations anymore.
for the past few years has been pushing us away from that. One of the biggest reasons why I want us to move to a D3 is for a potential technical jump to allow Destiny to become the MMO shooter that we always wanted it to be. Look,
Destiny is not an MMO, and Bungie's continued with the whole portal to make it more like Fortnite and less like an actual MMO. Like, they've stripped the MMO functionality away.
we've been asking for this inside of Destiny 2, but let's just be frank, guys. Whether it's the Tiger engine, whether it's old-gen consoles, Destiny 2 has never gotten to that point. Just think about it. The last time you ever even ran into another squad out in the open attempting to do a raid was Vault of Glass back in Destiny 1. And let me just say, that was truly a magical experience. To be running around in a patrol zone on Venus, to suddenly find 6 Guardians, all together fighting ads, all standing on plates, and you couldn't help but go over there and wonder what the hell they were doing. And lo and behold, they were opening the Vault of Glass. And at that time, I would have never even known Vault of Glass existed had I not ran into Guardians attempting to open it.
It really was a special moment to just drive by and see this happen. Like, it felt like the world was alive.
That open patrol space. As much as I wish players were on Twitch or YouTube or paid attention to every single twab Bungie's ever dropped, the reality is there's still a lot of players that play a game and only interact with the game within the game itself. To be quite honest with you, Destiny 2 has not done a good job of interacting with its community within the game itself. A lot of the information you have to get is outside of the game. Hell, for the longest time, the only way any of us could even understand the lore was by watching people like Bife or Milo. And although I'm going
to say this. If you have to read lore, I know people are like, you got lore books in game. If you have to stop to read lore, if you have to stop and watch someone else explain the fucking lore, it's a shitty game with shitty narrative. That's the bottom dollar. And Destiny recently has had the shittiest narrative lore I have ever seen. It is awful. It is dog. It is trash. This entire year has been nothing but awful, dog-eating, fan fiction, cancerous trash. It is just horrible. To piggyback on what he said also about notifying it, people live in this little bubble where they think that everyone is on Twitter and everyone sees the twids, everyone sees all the shit, and the reality is people don't. So when you see like sweeping changes like the new tier system, when you're like, oh, we've been living under a rock. Yeah, there's some people that just don't have Twitter, dude. And there's no notification on the fucking screen saying new twid outs. Hey, read the twid in game. There's like none of that. I mean, you've got shit like that for digital extremes and Warframe where they notify and tell you shit that's going on, but not Destiny. Destiny's like, well, good luck. You're just going to have to find out the hard way.
Very much enjoy their content. The reality is Destiny 3 needs to be a game that allows players to find each other, explore with one another, and understand the world completely in the game
100.
itself. And external sources are just meant to enrich that experience. Now, I don't really even know where to begin as far as the technical jump. Is it a jump to Unreal Engine? Does Bungie do a huge overhaul to the Tiger engine like they did from Reach to Destiny? Do they even have that kind of time? You got me, man. All I'm saying is that if there's one aspect of Destiny that has been missing for a very long time, it is that feel of being that MMO shooter. I think many of us would love nothing more than to be dropped down into a huge open space with other players, with a world that truly feels alive and dangerous, with secrets that are out there that you can unlock, whether you have a pre-made fire team or just people you randomly bumped
into. I do want to point out that the 12-man excision on Grandmaster was just insane. It was hard, but it was fun. Like, you felt like this is what a final fight feels like. 12-man Guardians fighting against a wave of just champions and shit that wants you dead. Like, it was fun. It was hard too.
While roaming around. One of the most peak moments inside of Destiny 2 history was when we randomly discovered the Whisper mission on Aya. Again, another thing where we just bumped around in a patrol zone to suddenly start seeing these blights pop up, and hot damn it, what a trip that was. Destiny 2 has lost that edge of surprise. Everything is broadcast, everything is disclosed to us, and that ruins that sense of exploration.
The biggest change is that they did the Whisper and Outbreak Perfected, I believe, for free. Like, it's maybe not outright perfected. It might have been attached to a season, but I know Whisper was for free. And at some point when I don't know if it was legal reasons, but at some point they had to start displaying what was coming on paid product. Like they couldn't keep things a secret. They had to show everything that you're paying for. I think it's legal reasons, but I think that's the main reason why they had to show you that, or they did that just to get people to buy their shit. I can't remember, but either way, it was a bad choice to start displaying everything. Just like it was a bad choice for Bungie this past expansion to showcase the dungeon, all the weapons and armor for everyone to see on reviews. It completely demystified and the surprise of everything. And like, it's just shit like that where they're just trying to sell, and they don't give a shit about the actual vibe. They just don't. It's just all about getting money in the pocket.
Inspiration and mystery that
Which
a
Renegades
D3
was just a cash grab.
desperately needs. And this seems to be something that resonates with many other people that play D2. Like, there's a lot of people that's like, yeah, I wish the game had mystery again. I wish I didn't know which exotics were about to drop. And look, this is coming from somebody that goes to different capture events leading up to an expansion. But let's be real, guys. For years, even before they started doing these capture events, we already knew what was coming with every single expansion and season. Hell, it's broadcasted on every trailer. It's right there in your season pass. That exotic armor piece, don't worry, there's going to be a guaranteed drop source. You simply just have to do the legendary campaign. And let me just say,
I think this was fine. I think there should have been one exotic that you could chase from legendary, and then one, like this one specifically is not that good of an exotic. I think that's fine. Like, there should have been a really cool one, and it should have been a secret that you have to just get to drop randomly.
even if those exotics are powerful, hell, some can even be build defining, they're not remembered in the same way that our exotics were back in Forsaken. And I bring up Forsaken because that's really...
I like how he's talking about Forsaken and bringing up Antaeus Wards. When the Menace, if anyone remembers Forsaken, One-Eyed Mask was the exotic that everyone wanted. That and what else? What was during that time? What was really dominating? It was definitely One-Eyed Mask, and I want to say one of the trace rifles. I think it was the PlayStation only trace rifle. I forgot what it's called. It's been a while. It's the Void one.
The last time we had an immense amount of rarity inside of Destiny, but that level of rarity made you covet people with certain items. I wanted Ursa Furiosa and Shards of Galanor so bad when Forsaken dropped. Why? It's not because I saw a trailer. It's because I saw someone use it against me inside of Crucible. I saw someone use back-to-back blade barrages inside of PvE, and I looked up their exotic that they were wearing, and I saw thy Shards of Galanor, and I knew I needed that exotic. When that Titan was going balls deep into me and all of my teammates at the same time, and he had wall hacks, overshield, and extra damage, I needed to know what that man was rocking. And lo and behold, it was a One-Eye Mask. When Wave Splitter was instantly melting me every time I peeked around a corner, I knew I had to have it. But these things were locked behind RNG, and Bungie was bold enough back then to make things rare. And not only did they make things rare, they locked things behind certain difficulties.
Absolutely.
Now, this is where I'm going to lose the rest of you. In my opinion, one of the beginnings of the end for Destiny is when they took away pinnacle weapons. Now, for those that don't remember, or maybe you didn't play back then, pinnacle weapons were essentially a hybrid. It was a legendary, but they were almost as strong, and in some cases, just as strong as exotics. Weapons like Luna's Howl, not for...
This is what tier 5 in what we have now, what it used to be. Tier 5 should have never been a ranking on extra perks. Tier 5 should be based on the power and strength of the gun itself. These would be at their original release. Not Forgotten was absolutely a tier 5 gun.
Gun, Mountaintop, Recluse,
all of these.
Breakneck, 21% Delirium. You see how I'm rattling off these weapons? I don't have to go fetch these weapons and their names. No, these things are lodged right in my noggin. Why? Because every one of these weapons were absolutely meta. They were truly pinnacle weapons, and they required you to do certain feats. Most notably, the one everyone hated the most.
They were so strong that all these guns have had multiple nerfs. Recluse, Mountaintop, Not Forgotten, All of them. Nerfed. Because even after they were sunsetted, people would still use them because they were that fucking good.
Most play PvP, and in some cases required you to play competitive. You want to know what absolutely revitalized the competitive playlist? It was adding pinnacle weapons. So many people were grinding comp to get high enough rank to get Luna's Howl. And then if you got max rank, you got an even better version of Luna's Howl called Not Forgotten. Dude, Bungie was so bold with this. And yes, there was a lot of players mauling over the fact that it...
I'm going to say something controversial, and it might sound elitist. The idea that Bungie needed to make things easier for casuals is a fallacy. The Forsaken era had some of the most play time in PvE and PvP than any expansion we've had. Like it was up there, man. And yet it did not die until later, whenever things went downhill, right? Like, we have actual evidence to show that casual players will still play. Yes, people will bitch about it, but they'll still play. And I think that you can have a system, like we had the vendor system where you could farm reputation, get multiple perks unlocked, and you could build that god roll. I think there could be that system for casuals, and then you have the sweaty, high-tier gear that the most dedicated players get. I'm sorry. I absolutely do believe. Like, I think having Luna's Howl for the little guys and then the better version for Not Forgotten for the big guys, that's fine. I thought that was fine. You had to work for it. Now, would this system work? The current system of Destiny? No. Why? Because cheaters are rampant everywhere in PvP. Like, cheaters weren't that big of an issue back then, but they are absolutely a big issue now. Like, everywhere you see people floating around, sparrows and running people over, dark matter balls, infinite super, spamming grenades, and you're just dying. Like, that shit is cancer, and it will push everyone away from comp. Like, if they actually regulated and treated PvP with respect, like they did way back in the day, then this system could work. But I think as it is, this system will not work in the current state of Destiny.
Didn't have these weapons, but that's the point. You're supposed to covet thy fellow guardian. If you don't covet them, what the hell's the point?
Yep.
You and I both have the same loot. The hell with that. I'm out here trying to measure my...
Now the way that people measure their dick is emblems that no one actually give a fuck about. Guys, I've got this rare, super rare Bungie emblem that I donated thousands of dollars to get, and now I've got the rarest emblem. Suck my dick.
My peen, and how I measure it is by the loot in my vault. And hot damn, I want my loot to be bigger. Now, some of you are gonna call me elitist, but in my opinion, Bungie capitulating and removing pinnacle weapons, which is what they eventually did, was the beginning of the end. Yes, we had good years of Destiny after that, but the coveting of loot ended with that. After that point, everything simply had a price point attached to the weapon or the exotic armor piece. You knew exactly where to
100%.
go to get that piece. It wasn't difficult. All you had to do was pay for the new expansion, and boom, you have it. I bring this up, guys, because a Destiny 3 cannot have the same business model, and in this case, loot model that Destiny 2 has had. You have to create loot that other Guardians covet, and you'll never get there by simply handing out free candy. By the way, this is a lesson that Bungie learned a long time ago. They handed out free candy back in D2 vanilla launch, when you can get every exotic in the game by simply doing heroic public events, which takes me to the final point.
Which is funny. I continue to say we're back to year one of Destiny 2. We've gone full circle. They're giving out loot like it's nothing. Like it's just a joke.
Here with this video. Bungie, you've got to quit repeating mistakes. The mistake of just handing out free candy is just one example. The portal is another mistake that Bungie themselves didn't even make before. They actually avoided it. Back during a GDC panel in 2016, Bungie explains how they created essentially what was the portal, but they eventually...
It's funny that these GDCs are Bungie's kryptonite. It is hilarious how much these GDCs are used against Bungie, and to show how fucking retarded they are as a company. That they say one thing and they do another whole different thing. It's like, just why are you allowed on these GDCs? You are literally a walking contradiction.
scrapped it because it took the soul out of Destiny. Fast forward to 2025, I think you know the rest. Bungie still added the portal. And I know there's some things worth trying. There's some things worth testing. And hell, I guess if there's anywhere you should test things, it should be here in Destiny 2. But if this was a feature that you yourselves analyzed as being bad back in 2013, when you originally removed it from your game, then fellas, it's a good chance that's still bad today. And objectively on paper, the portal made sense. But I personally think it's the straw that broke the camel's back. What the portal really represented was the loss of mystery and exploration inside of Destiny. A trend that Bungie has continued to push every single year. No matter how many times we've said we want.
The portal was Bungie's desperate attempt to get new players into the game to get a quick cash grab. That's why they soft sunsetted paid content, because they wanted to remove any walls for new players to jump in, because they weren't getting new players and the old ones were leaving. And so they're like, okay, we're going to take this paid content, we're going to push it off to the side, we're going to focus on this very limited amount of content to make it look like Fortnite, and get as many people in as possible and milk them, which is what Star Wars Renegades tried to do. It was an attempt to milk as much money as possible. That's it. It was a cash grab.
The mystery back in Destiny.
It wasn't for the benefit of the game, it was the benefit of their pockets.
We want the game to feel like an MMO. If a Destiny 3 is being made right now, this needs to be an opportunity for Bungie to really sit down and narrow in on what worked and what absolutely didn't work. And I think the core North Star for Bungie going forward in regards to making a D3 needs to be what adds to the soul of Destiny.
Fun. When I say fun, I mean, not I'm playing my friends to make it fun. I'm not playing with random guys to make it fun. The game itself is actually fucking fun. It carries, it's the fun of the game. It's not product being made specifically to make a buck. It's like their GDC from a couple years ago. It needs to be trust, retention, revenue. Except revenue's on the bottom, and where trust is, it needs to be fucking fun.
There. What is it that contributes to the soul of Destiny? And that is what makes your game memorable. It's what makes it stand out. And it's really what Destiny has lost. Destiny is still a fun game to play. I still enjoy jumping in, shooting weapons, popping bad guys, playing PvP. Hell, wielding a lightsaber is pretty cool. And dare I say, I even enjoy the narrative surrounding the 9. But that soul of Destiny has just eroded over time. Whether that's decisions by Bungie, whether it's player fatigue, whether it's just the ending to a saga. Whatever the case, I believe only a Destiny 3 can recapture that. Now, to circle back to our original point, Destiny 3 cannot exist while Destiny 2 is still breathing. That doesn't mean Bungie needs to shut down Destiny 2, but it definitely means Bungie is going to have to stop putting out content in Destiny 2. And look, I play this game, I make content for this game, but to be perfectly honest, if I gotta wait 2-3 years for a D3 and Destiny 2 go dark, then so be it, man. And I guarantee some people are still gonna be playing Destiny 2. But my big concern with this is that by trying to keep Destiny 2 alive, by trying to drip feed it content, this is going to erode and potentially even push off any potential of a Destiny 3. Now, I've mentioned different suggestions, little things that could possibly bridge the gap in between Destiny 2 and Destiny 3. Of course, only do it if it's actually something easy to do. But hear me out, guys. Destiny Classic. I'm just throwing it out there, fellas. You can give us a Destiny Classic in Destiny 2 with the 9 saga.
I would play the fuck out of Destiny Classic, except I want Destiny 1 Classic. Not Destiny. I don't want Destiny 2 being put into the shit. Destiny 2 is its own thing. Just bring Destiny 1, uplift it to PC. That's really all I think you need to do. Bring back some of the events like Trials and Iron Banner that is on its own rotation. Like it's on a monthly rotation that can run on its own without Bungie touching it. Like,
wrap it up, give us Classic to mess around with for 2-3 years. We'll probably blow through it in less than 6 months, but it would be a good time.
PvP would be great,
we
though.
all wait for a D3. So that's it, guys. Those are my thoughts. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always.
All right, so I agree with everything he said. Though I feel like it's cope to believe that Bungie can make a Destiny 3 successful. But I think that Tencent could eat if Sony's like, you know what? fuck Bungie. Tencent, we want to make a new Destiny 3. I believe Tencent could do it. I have full faith in that Tencent could do it. Absolutely. You don't need Bungie. You could take some of the most, take Noah. That's like the only developer I really know from Bungie that I've seen him play. He's passionate. He's a gamer. Get the Noah guy. Make him the game director. Make him work for Tencent. Make some fucking magic. Like that dude helped make Into the Light. That thing was absolute crisp, clean. Give him the ability to make gold. But do I think that Bungie alone can make Destiny 3? Fuck no. Let me know what you think down below. I'm Mr. Game Counselor. Hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel for more. As always, don't forget